Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Doing well. Hi, my name's Jessie.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, great to meet you too. What's your name?
I'm Fuen.
Okay, awesome. Hey, we're super excited to meet with you today. You know, they saved the best for last, so they've already worked out everything else, and now they're just called us in to hash out the final problems. Isn't that how it always works?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'm excited. I just wanted to, you said like they already figured out a lot of it, and then you had a couple questions or some things that you wanted to go over just to wrap up the deal, right? I haven't had the chance to meet with you guys at all, so why don't you tell me a little bit about you, like what your role is in the company?
Sure. Well, I've been with this company for the last 20 years. We've closed a lot of deals. There's been a lot of growth and discount. We've found that the policies that we've implemented have worked really well throughout the nation. Obviously, we're a chain store, so that kind of continuity throughout has been really successful for us, and we haven't had a lot of issues as far as growth has gone.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, like I said, I'm the guy that they call in when everything else has kind of fallen through, just kind of make sure that the final deals get closed. So.
Oh, good. Well, there you go. That's exciting. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're expecting from this deal, or what you want to go over today?
Okay. You guys have a great location here in Boston. We're interested in this area. We've been interested for a little while. From what I understand, your guys' main concern has been with what we have proposed as far as the Article 22 specifically. I know that you guys redrafted something and submitted it to our editors, and then they let us know that, hey, this is what they're wanting. Obviously, that is completely unrealistic for our company. And so, I mean, maybe a better question for me to you is kind of what are the issues that you guys are facing? Why are we at an impasse here?
Right. Yeah, so we understand the article you put in, how important that is for your company, and how, if things go wrong, then that helps you kind of problem solve and make sure that your company stays afloat and continue to be successful. We are having a few issues with that. I mean, to be completely honest with you, that just creates some financing problems for us because the people that we're working with aren't too comfortable with, I guess, losing so much, for lack of better words, power with you guys having a complete, I guess, decision on what will go in that spot, if that makes sense. And so, we just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about it. So why don't you tell me a little bit of how this has worked with other strip malls that you have done or something, to kind of teach us a little bit more of, how, I guess, what we can expect from that.
Great. And I love how open-minded you are in all of this. I think that we're going to be able to come to a conclusion with you being open-minded like this. Like I said, we have 22 or 200 other locations. Normally, we haven't found an issue at all with financing. The people that we finance with are perfectly okay with doing 5-year leases that I found. Obviously, I'm not a developer, and so that's not my particular expertise. But with the developers we've worked with, I mean, 5 years has been completely sufficient. And just to be honest with you, I know that they'd pre-negotiated a 25-year contract. I personally am not comfortable with that, and I'd like to take it down to probably like maybe even a 5-year contract. I think that's perfectly acceptable for what we want. I mean, especially with retail, it's kind of up and down. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So we don't want to be locked in for 25 years. I mean, we're living in a society where marriages don't last normally more than 5 years. Not that we don't want to be stuck with you guys, but honestly, we don't want to be tied down for that time.
I know you mentioned earlier how you guys really like this location. And so I guess, is really the location the most important to you, of like having an opportunity to be here, or is it just being able to have like that short contract and being able to get out like right away? Does that make sense?
Right. That's a fantastic question. We're new to the area, so we just want to be able to say, hey, if things go really well in this location, we'll be here for the next 30 years. But let's say that things don't go great, and for some reason discount retail just isn't a hot topic in Boston, we want to get out.
Right.
So I would say that probably our priority there is just the flexibility to get out if we need to. We don't want to be stuck under a contract that's not providing benefit or value to us.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And so you said you want to bring it down to 5 years from the 25 that we have already negotiated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think for all that, we kind of have gone over it. So why don't we kind of put that on the shelf right now and just focus on the subletting in the article that you guys had put in? Because I know, I mean, you and I hadn't really discussed that part as much. We had discussed the terms of the lease or your rent. So why don't we just kind of focus on the article, and then we can come back to that.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
That's perfectly acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like we said, we think that you guys are an amazing company. That's why we reached out to you in the first place. We think you would be very attractive to our strip mall. And we really want you guys to work with us. Like I said, we are just having a hard time being able to keep the people that are financing this project with that gloss that you guys want to add. I know you said it hasn't been a problem for you guys before, but we are having that problem. So why don't you tell me, I don't know, ways that we can, attack this so that we can reach our goals as well as you guys. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know that there's a lot of financing places in the area that have no issue with that. I personally am not aware of that, but if that is really a huge issue for you guys and it's kind of the area of the impasse, I would be willing to let you guys maybe contact and give maybe even a list of contacts of other locations that we have in and where they finance through. If that's going to be beneficial for you guys, if that's something you're wanting to do, is just change financing completely. Because I mean, typically I feel like people financing don't have an issue with 5-year leases. I mean, if they're asking for 10 or 15-year leases just to get financing, I feel like that's a bit extreme.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, I just want to be completely honest with you. We really want you guys to work with us, but we just can't meet our goals giving you that deal as you had it written out for the class. It just won't work for us. And so we wouldn't be able to help you either. And so I think what you said is kind of interesting to us to find if we're able to work out different financing opportunity, then maybe we would be more open to having a class like that. But without it, we're just kind of at a loss right now, because then we would lose the whole deal, I guess. And so obviously I know you're looking for your interest, but then I'm looking out for mine as well. So are you guys able to amend any part of the clause at all so that it still leaves us some, I guess, leeway on what we can do in case that you guys have to pick up and go?
Is your major concern more with assigning or subletting, or, I mean, because we're kind of dealing with 3 different beasts here, you know, the assigning, the subletting, and then the use, and that is as far as hard and soft goods.
Right.
What specifically are you referring to?
So I don't know if you remember what we kind of rewrafted for you guys. We just want to be able to have the opportunity of approving who comes in, because we want to look out for the rest of the stores that will join the strip mall. And so we want to be fair to them as well, to make sure that we're not bringing in other competition, as well as be fair to you guys, because obviously we really want you to be part of this project. And so with you guys just being able to sublet or assign to anyone, we don't want that to create issues with anyone else that's here. Because obviously we don't know who they're going to be after you have already joined the strip mall. And so whoever comes in, we would make sure that they're not competing with you. But for them, if anyone just randomly comes in while they're already here, then that's going to be kind of a problem. And so I think that's our biggest thing, that we want to be able to have like I say, or make sure that sales are going to be beneficial for the rest of the stores that are in the mall. So I guess that's the biggest issue, that we don't want just randomly someone will come without us even knowing and create another issue with another store that's already here.
Fuen, have you ever heard the saying, don't let the tail control the dog? I'd say that's particularly applicable here just because, I mean, as discount, we kind of are the corner store. We're the ones bringing most of the foot traffic. So I'd say we're the dog in this, for instance. Mm-hmm. And all of the other satellite tenants are kind of like the tail. And I don't think that we should necessarily get caught up with worrying about the tail controlling the dog in this, for instance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I mean, I guess at the same time, we want to be able to make sure that they're comfortable here as well. You know, we are a small company. We've been going for like about 20 years. We've been really successful with the projects that we have. And in all honesty, this is kind of our first time that we're taking on a project like this. And so we just want to have the best terms as well, just for everyone, make sure that this project is successful as well, because I mean, it's a big part of our company. We're a smaller company, and you just want to solidify that it will go through, it will be smooth. So I get where you're coming from with, you know, you guys are, I guess, the biggest deal of the strip mall, but you know, we want to make sure that we're also keeping control of everything else that's going on, instead of having to ask you guys, I guess, for permission to do anything, that we can also have like a say on what goes on. So yeah, that's kind of.
And this particularly is with subletting. You're worried about the potential other people that would be brought in, or is this you're worried about us turning over the premises completely? I
think it would be my biggest concern. It would be assigning. I mean, I think we would be a little bit more open to subletting, but completely assigning just to, you know, whoever. I think that makes us a little more cautious of that. So would you be open to maybe doing subletting, but not just assigning without discussing it with us? Or I don't know, you know, I'm trying to see if we can compromise on that, because obviously we're like kind of a different sides of the spectrum. You want to be able to control it completely, and we kind of want to control it as well. So I don't know, just I guess kind of meet halfway so that we can both continue on with this deal.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate you bringing that up. And if I were in your shoes, I think I'd feel exactly the same way. Obviously, you guys are kind of newer to the bigger developments as far as malls, and I can understand, you know, being concerned that might be an issue.
Yeah.
Like I said, we have the same clause in the 200 other stores, and we haven't had an issue with the developers, just because they realize that, if there's an issue and for some reason discount no longer is able to be profitable in that particular location, then it's totally fine to move, and you know, we'll be able to put somebody else in, and that probably won't be an issue. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, I understand where you're coming from. That makes total sense to me. But like I said, our biggest concern is just that where we're at right now with our financing, we won't be able to move forward with a clause like that. And so I guess in a way my hands are kind of tied if we completely agree to the terms that you have given us. I really want to work with you guys. But you know, I'm kind of at a loss right now, trying to see what we can do to make sure that this goes through. So
awesome. I think that there's definitely something we could do as far as putting maybe in a sub clause. Is that what you had in mind? Maybe a sub clause as far as the assignee?
Yeah.
That would give categories even. I mean, obviously it's not going to be beneficial for us to move in today and turn off the lights tomorrow. It'd be a huge waste of money for us. We're hoping to be in the area for a long time.
Yeah.
So if you would feel comfortable maybe with a subclause that had categories that said, okay, that retail is acceptable, but maybe at the same time not a call center,
Correct.
or other certain categories that are not going to bring foot traffic. If you would feel comfortable doing that, I think that's something we can accomplish.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a little bit better for us because, like I said, we really want to work with you guys. I mean, we approached you in the first place because we knew your reputation. We know that you're a strong brand, and we believe that you are expecting to be here for a long time. But just because, I have to meet the interests of the people above me as well. Let's work on something like that. Let's draft that, and then we can make sure that we can get approval for that and continue to move on with the deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time. That's right.